The lights went down, and the crowd erupted into wild screams as Kendrick Lamar stepped onto the stage for the opening night of his much-anticipated stadium tour. But it wasn't just the music that had fans buzzing. Within moments, it became clear that Kendrick had something else on his mind, Drake. And he didn't hold back. The entire arena was already crackling with energy. But when Kendrick took a quiet pause before launching into his set, a subtle smirk played across his face. The giant LED screen behind him flickered to life. At first, it seemed like a standard tour visual, gritty cityscapes, flashing lights, and shadowy images of Kendrick walking through smoke. But then came the twist. A distorted owl, the symbol of Drake's OVO brand, appeared on screen, only to be swallowed by a Black Panther, Kendrick's long-associated symbol. The crowd went wild. Some gasped, some laughed, others pulled out their phones in disbelief. This wasn't going to be just a concert. This was war. Kendrick didn't say Drake's name, but he didn't have to. The crowd knew exactly what he meant. Every image, every lyric, every camera angle was drenched in subtle, and sometimes not-so-subtle jabs. The visuals were brilliant, the timing perfect. At one point, an animated cartoon version of a rapper with a heart shaved into his head, a clear shot at Drake's infamous certified lover boy hairstyle, danced clumsily on screen before getting booted into space. It was hilarious, savage, and completely unexpected. Kendrick's live band exploded into DNA, and the floor of the stadium shook. But even then, he wove in new lines, small changes that weren't part of the original track. Lines that seemed laser-targeted. You bought love, I earned mine. You streamed wins, I bled lines. The crowd screamed every word back, feeding off his intensity. For those paying close attention, the message was clear. Kendrick wasn't just performing. He was responding. Fans have been waiting for this moment ever since whispers started about tension between Kendrick and Drake. Both titans of the rap world, both respected for their pen game, but with very different energies. Drake, the global pop rap sensation, known for catchy hooks and emotional bars. Kendrick, the lyrical assassin, rooted in storytelling and social commentary. The two have always moved in orbit of each other, occasionally throwing shade in songs, interviews, or live performances. But now it felt different. This was a full-blown statement. Tour footage shows Kendrick stalking the stage, like a man on a mission. The camera cuts to the crowd, mouths open, heads shaking in disbelief, hands waving in rhythm. It wasn't just a concert, it was a moment in hip-hop history. When he performed The Heart Part 5, the emotion in his voice cracked through the speakers. And right before he hit the final verse, he paused and said, "They thought this was over. I just started writing." The audience roared. That wasn't a casual comment. That was a warning. Throughout the show, there were even more clever digs. At one point, the screen flashed mock Spotify stats comparing Kendrick and a mystery rapper, with exaggerated numbers that mocked the idea of fake streams and algorithmic hits. A voiceover then whispered, "Not all crowns are earned." The shade was brutal, but fans ate it up. What made it even more powerful was Kendrick's composure. He didn't shout. He didn't rant. He didn't throw tantrums or call names. He let the art speak. His visuals, lyrics, stage presence, and even his wardrobe choices told the story. Dressed in a minimalist black outfit with red stitching, possibly a nod to bloodlines and loyalty, he gave nothing away in interviews before the show. But on stage, he unloaded. Social media blew up within minutes. Kendrick just ethered Drake without even saying his name. One user tweeted, "This is chess, not checkers," wrote another. The footage started circulating immediately, with fans dissecting every frame for hidden messages. There were rumors that Kendrick had rehearsed a diss track that he was saving for later in the tour. Some even speculated that Drake might respond from his own tour stage. The battle lines were drawn, and the world was watching. But it wasn't just about the trolling. Kendrick's performance was flawless. He moved through his catalog with surgical precision, transitioning from bangers like Humble and Money Trees to deeper cuts like Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. Each song hit harder than the last. The visuals were crisp, the lighting dramatic, the energy electric. He even brought out surprise guests. Rumors swirled about J. Cole, but instead fans got a high-octane appearance from Schoolboy Q. reminding everyone that TD is still a force to be reckoned with. By the time the final song played, all right, with the crowd chanting in unison, Kendrick stood still, sweat pouring down his face, soaking in the energy. He raised a single fist, turned his back to the crowd, and disappeared behind the curtain. The stadium lights came up, but the conversations had just begun. Kendrick Lamar didn't just launch a tour that night. He launched a new chapter in his legacy. A chapter where he's no longer sitting quietly at the top, but actively calling out the noise around him. He's saying, I see everything, and now I'm ready to speak. What made it even more compelling was how calculated it all felt. Not reckless, not emotional, but strategic. Every frame of that tour footage was deliberate. Every lyric was double-edged. It wasn't about clout, it was about control. Kendrick isn't trying to go viral. He's trying to shift the culture. As fans spill out of the stadium and onto social media, they're already talking about the next show. What will Kendrick do next? Will he keep escalating? Will Drake respond? Is this just entertainment, or is this the rebirth of real lyrical competition in mainstream hip-hop? One thing's for sure, Kendrick Lamar has everyone's attention now. And in an era of short attention spans and microwave beefs, that's not easy to do. He didn't need a tweet. He didn't need a diss track. He used the stage. He used the art. And he used silence, just as powerfully as sound. This tour is no longer just about music. It's a chessboard. And Kendrick just made the first move.